Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video and we're finally back in familiar surroundings with better camera quality after a little adventure in the missus car. Behave yourselves, huh? Come on now, you're better than that. Behave yourselves. Anyway, we're here for the football troops and the unexpected start of Stephen Davis's Rangers managerial career. Yeah. It still feels odd. So the intro's done. Let's go ahead and get to the video then, shall we? If you do find yourself enjoying the channel or content anytime, please consider hitting that like button or hitting that subscribe button, or if you want to hit both, that would be greatly appreciated. It does help every individual video out by hitting either of those things. But carrying on with the actual video, before we really dive in and discuss and really dissect the mess that is Rangers Football Club, I feel like we should maybe pay attention to something that no one is talking about, because everyone's talking about the new manager, and trust me, we will have something on the channel very soon. I think it's going to be either uploaded Thursday or Friday. We will discuss that, people, but there is the small matter of a massive European game upon the horizon. We have got a rookie manager and no one is seemingly talking about that game tomorrow, so let's do what not a lot of people is actually doing. That's pay a little bit of attention to tomorrow's opposition, and Limassol comes in to this game versus Rangers, sitting 5th in the old Cyprus League, which is not something they're too accustomed to doing, especially last season when they went ahead and won the league, won the trophy, won the championship. I'm not really sure the right phrasing that they use. It's sometimes mixed whenever you use the old Google Translate, but they won it with a couple of points after a truly stellar campaign in which they lost just 4 games all season. Brilliant season for them, but it's not been quite the exact same demolition job this season, because they've already lost one of their opening 6 domestic matches, which is very uncommon for them. And when you go ahead and you look at that loss, it was actually their most recent game, people, as they were beaten at home once they were down to 10 men, to the disappointment of the home crowd and frustration and boos of the home crowd. By goodness gracious, that sounds familiar. But cheap, truthful jokes to one side, gone and looking at this Limassol side, that loss is a bit of an anomaly, especially considering the fact they didn't score in that game. Because if you look at it, troops, this is a team that scores goals for fun and from anywhere. I know no one's paying attention to this opposition. They are viewed as the weakest team in the group. I get it. I get all the thoughts that we've got when we've seen the draw. But what I can tell you is what they've been doing, and they've been doing this for a long time. That's putting the ball in to the back of net. Despite their most recent 1-0 loss, that loss there at home down to 10 men where they failed to score was only 1 of 2 times they've failed to score all season long. And the other game, the only other game this team has failed to score in, was a Champions League qualifier, troops, where again it was against a very tough opposition. If you look at it after that, the 5 previous matches before the shock anomaly 1-0 loss at home, they had scored 16 goals in that 5 game span. And again, it comes from anywhere, troops. Could be Gomez scoring a hat-trick like he's already done in the Europa League qualifiers, and then the next week it's Stepanenski, and then it's their midfielder, then it's their left back, then it's their right back, then their centre halves stepping up with a goal. I mean, the 5-0 win had all different scorers. The week later, Stepanenski's got 2 goals, and then Gomez has got 3 goals. This team just scores goals for fun. And I think their statistics show that, troops, not only gone back over the last couple of months, but just look at the last 5 games before that 1-0 shock loss. Again, 16 goals is a ridiculous output to actually have, especially when it's spread so evenly throughout their team. They are a team that's got real goal scoring threat, and I think a lot of that is down to their playstyle and how they go about their business. Again, it's not going to shock or surprise anyone or be sexy. It's a 4-2-3-1, troops, that gets everybody in the box when they've got the chance to play a lot of it on the ground. Hopefully not jinxing anything going into tomorrow, but they're not exactly the most biggest physical side that's going to run wide and chip balls in. Again, they've got good attacking players out wide that use their pace, that stretch the park, and that's one of their play styles, but they like to play in to the box. They like to pepper the goal with shots from outside the box, whether that's running, cutting it back, then having the pop. Just look at the goal they scored versus Sparta Prague in the 88th minute, if you will, in that game. It was the exact same. Play it wide, bring it in, cut it inside, have a ridiculous shot and it ends up into the back of net. This is a side that is very, very shot happy if you give them the opportunity. And again, maybe the lackey height forces them away from maybe the necessarily just whipping the balls in constantly. But if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, they have normally got kind of a short corner routine. I've seen a lot of their highlights this season. I've seen a lot of their goals and their attacks. They do like a cheeky wee short corner here or there, but considering the fact that we are so terribly bad at defending corners, I wouldn't be surprised to even see this team, the team that we faced tomorrow, go against their grain and go against their game plan and actually start whipping balls in, because our defence just doesn't know how to deal with it. But, and there is always that but, the eagle-eyed audience and the people that's really listening to the video might be actually sitting there thinking to themselves, wait a minute CJ, you've just said all that, you've just said they're scoring goals for fun, they're battering teams, they're genuinely having or averaging at least 6 shots on target every single game that they played, with around 20 to 25 shots per game that they're playing. They're doing a lot offensively, they're getting up forward a lot, they're scoring a lot of goals, yet at the start of the video, he says it's not really been the greatest start of the season for them, and again they find themselves in 5th spot. Now, it is just a couple points in between 5th and 1st, if I'm honest with you, but they did get that early loss, and a lot of their wee silly draws that they've picked up is because of one reason, and one reason only. As good as this team is built to go forward, I think you know where I'm going with this. There is equally culpable at conceding at the back, because that 16 goal run we talked about in the previous 5 before the 1-0 loss, they had conceded 8 during that run as well, dropping points here and gifting, and I mean gifting opposition with the opportunity to score, because they are built to go forward. They love today. It's just their playstyle, and they will always leave spaces and gaps in behind to hurt them. And again, they're not the biggest side in the world. They are susceptible to set pieces, but considering the fact that we love outswinging corners, people, and making sure nobody gets under any pressure, I'm sure they'll be pretty fine in that aspect. And I think, truthfully, that's all I've got to say about tomorrow's opposition. Hopefully you've left this video knowing just a little bit more about them. They like to get forward, they like to play through spaces, they like to play quickly, and they love to have shots. But again, defensively, they have been not bad, troops. They have been awful, and that has to be something as a Rangers side gone to an away run that you sit and look, let's go and attack that then. And I'm kind of glad maybe the managerial changes actually happened, because I was slightly worried going into this game before, and because obviously I start looking at these oppositions kind of weeks and weeks in advance, and I'm sitting saying if Michael Beale sits off this team and just plays to their advantages and their strengths, I'll just be like when we played Celtic at Parkhead and we just let them dance all over us. If you give them time on the ball, they are good going forward. People can talk about the league. We play in the Scottish League, troops. You know what I mean? We need to stop pretending this league is amazing and so much superior over everyone else. We play in the Scottish League, troops. If we give this team up 15 yards of space, they'll look like world beaters. And I hope now that there is that managerial change, we sit and look. Their quite clearly biggest weakness is their defence. We've got attacking players, good attacking players on their day. Maybe that should be the aspect. Not to sit there and play the counter-attacking football, long ball, horrible to watch football. Let's get after them, because again, they gift oppositions with chances to score game upon game. Let's just hope whoever's picked up front tomorrow is actually good enough to take them. And that there gives us the transition away from the limassol and on to the Rangers end, because we do have so much to talk about. Again, we're not going to dive into the new manager talk or anything. That will come in a separate video. Trust me, I've got yous on that aspect. But I want to talk about what's actually here right now. And I love to see Davo, right? Everyone knows he's one of my favourite all-time players. I've spoken about it for many years on the channel. Whenever I've done an international roundup, it was mostly because I like to speak about Stephen Davis' incredible achievements. I love Stephen Davis, right? But I can't sit here and lie to you and say that I'm not a little bit nervous about what we're actually being, because I watched his interview on Rangers TV and stuff like that, and he says he obviously thought about going into managing one day, but it's not something he's really been thinking about. So this guy has been given this opportunity that he couldn't have turned down. I mean, you're never turning down. This is dream, especially for someone who loves the club as much as we love the club the same as Stephen Davis. But he is a manager that's not really got his own philosophy, his own style he play that he's thought about and he's really built upon and matured over time, or went through his coaching, went through this. He's not done any of that, people. He's been busy with rehabbing his previous injury that he obviously suffered at Rangers, and it does leave me a little bit nervous because what are we going to look at? And there may be a falter into what we've actually been accustomed to, because again, he doesn't have his own direct play style. Just now, we talked about liking to keep the ball. That's how he likes to play and being a winner, but what does that actually translate onto the park? I may just need to damper some expectations that it's going to be free-flowing attacking football and going to be exactly everything we want. I feel like he might just revert to type because he has had so little time to get his own play style or figure out what he wants his play style to actually be. Again, he's not been training as a manager. He's not been working as a manager. He's been rehabbing to come back as a football player, troops. So, we maybe can't be too overly critical about how the team actually looks tomorrow if it's not absolutely everything we want it to be. He's kind of trying to plug holes and put plasters on a sinking ship right now, and I'm hopeful it works out, and I'm hopeful, hey, the players bloody better turn up for Stephen Davis, because if there is one guy that we love as a fan base and who deserves for players not to go in the huff and go through the motions, it's for Stephen Davis, so they better run their arse off. But in terms of that's the style we wanted to see all season, I don't think we'll see it. I think we'll see something similar to what we've seen. I just hope the attitude is to attack rather than sit and defend. Maybe cut the long balls down by about 50%, Davo. That would be sensational for me. Maybe play some attacking football, but that's all I can say. I certainly hope it's going to be a success, but I think there is a lot of pressure on this lad, and a lot of people are expecting him to fix it like this and it to be a completely different Rangers side. I don't see that happening because, again, his lack of managerial experience and his lack of philosophy. He's not created one yet. This is going to be his time he starts to create, and hopefully the players give them absolute everything they can, because if there's a much loved guy in that dressing room, he's certainly one of them. So best of luck to Davo, but that was my thoughts and opinions in terms of the play style. Are we going to be drastically different? I don't think we will be just yet, troops. Now, hopefully I'm wrong and maybe we will be, but that's what I wanted to say just by the preference that and get to it. Now let's talk about a couple of returning players then, shall we? Because the boys that was going to be out for a long time seemingly are back. Kamal Roof, Jacko's been called up for Scotland, and Raskin has travelled to Cyprus. And read into that what you will. I think it's great to have all three players available apparently for this game, although I do think Jacko will actually miss the game. I'm not sure if Stevie Clark's just called him up, considering the fact that obviously he's Ryan frickin' Jack. But Kamal Roof being back in training and Raskin travelling to Cyprus is absolutely huge for this football club, and both could have a say tomorrow if it's not just too quite early, considering their comeback. Again, striker's going to be the biggest talking point, because Dessers has put in the single worst performance of the season. And I just want to ask you right now, considering where your chips lie, Roof's just back again for another injury, do you give Dessers another opportunity this time tomorrow? Let me know your thoughts. And that, I'm actually scared to read the comments. I'm scared to read the comments! Alright, that's all I've got to say about tomorrow. I'm very excited, but also very interested to see what type of Rangers performance we'll see tomorrow, and just how many changes can Davo make so quickly, considering he's never really gave this much thought. I know he's got some experience in the background and Alex Ray, etc. I get all that, but just how much change can happen in such a short period of time. Hopefully it's a successful winning one, and that is what we'll see. I'm going to back the boys. I back the team to put in a performance, especially for Davo. And again, no disrespect to the opposition. I give a lot of respect to limassol. They are a goal scoring side. I look at them defensively, and if we can't score goals, Amora troops rip up something boys' contracts, man, because they just gift opportunities away and away. So I'll go 2-1. 3-1, something like that, troops. I do expect them to score, but I expect us to outscore them. That would be nice. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Where your head's at? What you thinking regarding Rangers Football Club? And be interested, because I'm going to be talking about a manager. I'll maybe upload that tomorrow before the game. Actually, I'm going to be talking about a manager tomorrow. Maybe let me know if you're still watching the name you want, because you might just see it tomorrow. But until then, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best and bye.